Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're causing them wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry about that. I was a little thrown off. Didn't expect the song to end so quickly there. I was trying to look for something to, like, test out. So, yeah. Did this whole stream last night, and it turns out that, yeah, I'm awful. I'm awful at streaming. Turn on my light even. I don't have anything going. It's like I didn't prepare at all for this. Hey, look at that. We're getting somewhere now. It's daylight. I normally don't do daylight streams, so hopefully it doesn't look awful in here. I apologize. I mean, you can't really see much, so you can't really see my light either, but it is on. I promise me. It looks like last night, so we're just gonna take the visual from last night where I thought it looked a lot better than it does right now, and we're gonna use that as like conceptual for me not messing up. But I want to listen to some There I Ruined It. I promoted them before. I think they do some funny stuff. Let's do some Hank Williams straight out of Compton. Not me anyway.
Monthly, yearly, until...
Anyway, I'm just going to go back and test my stream real quick. I just want to make sure that all came through peachy. Because that was my mess up. That's why I'm here today. I did this whole stream last night. And, well, let's be honest. My audio sucked. I did this whole stream last night. Alright, we're going to talk to myself here a little bit.
AK-47 is the tool.
Hey, look at that. We got audio. Perfect. Alright, so we for sure fixed the problem. So, we got a whole bunch of stuff to cover. Again, yes. I am slightly more prepared than I was last night. I guess, that's the benefit of doing this twice. Is I'm definitely less out of it than I was trying to do this and wing it and give it my raw emotion last night. So there is some benefit for coming around doing this the second time. So what we have is we got a very, very, very detailed docket that I'm going to cover here. This docket's got a little bit of everything going on with it. We're going to cover the drama on the YouTube side, what I think started it, my position on a couple things and everything else. I've got a full timeline that kind of lines everything up between all this stuff. And then I did mathing the math is what I called it, just showing how I got to where I got on this whole thing. As far as like lining it up and here's where the timelines are and why I think this fits here and this fits there. And I invite Xylie, I invite Van Luc to like go over this, pull it apart, however you like. Prove me wrong. I don't mind being proved wrong. If there's something I got wrong, please let me know. But I want to start like I did last night. We're going to cover, first of all, my position on doxing. Yes. All right. So I think that let's look at this video first. Okay. So we have this very first video here. And let's listen to this.
So this is the invoice. Salvo just bought a t-shirt, one of his t-shirts. And I think it said his name here. I can't remember. But it definitely gave the shipping address here. And then Keemstar goes, sorry for the kind of docs. I'm drinking, but that's Salvo. So I honestly believe that he accidentally did that.
Okay, so here's my position. So you just heard Xylie speak on what really has been one of the bigger dramas that come out of this Tea Party chat, and that is Keemstar doxing Salvo. And it's a matter of, hey, he doxed him in the chat. It wasn't public. I get that. At the same time, I said last night, I still stand behind my point. If it were me, if I were in there, I'd probably just be like, Keem, look, just delete that. Like, don't. You never know what's going to happen. And in this case, the worst case scenario happened. What happened? Salvo wasn't kicked out of the chat. Then he got his account back. It just so happens to be one of the accounts that he gets back is the account that's still signed into this chat. So what does he do? He goes through and screen records it. And you know what? Yeah, Salvo's already burned the bridge. So it's not like he's worried about making enemies with Keemstar. That's been written in the freaking past for 10 months now. So, I honestly think, yes, if Keemstar was drunk, I'll concede a little bit there as far as, like, you did something stupid when you're drunk. I highly doubt everybody in that chat was drunk, and I feel like there's some moral obligation, maybe, especially considering that these are not small YouTubers. I kind of totaled it up. We'll cover it later on, but there's about 13 creators in here representing on their normal channels alone. I only went with their channels tied directly to their names. I know, like, Boblax has got 5 or 6 channels, maybe. I know that, like, Nick Diorio is a Twitch streamer. I didn't take any. I just took their YouTube subscribers for their channels tied to them. And they represent about 7 million subscribers flat. Like I said, there's more on their other channels. So, I mean, we're talking about you're representing a large audience. These are not small creators. The 2 smallest creators in this chat, and I cover it, and I'm not knocking either one of them, is Xylie, and it is Chris the Narc. And I don't know how small Chris the Narc is at this time, because this is going with Chris the Narc's recent channel. Chris had another channel previously. So I don't know where Chris's subscriber count was, what he lost, where he's at, whether this channel is bigger or smaller. Who knows? But, I mean, you know, you're talking about Nicholas Diorio represents probably about 75,000 subscribers, I think. Somewhere 50, 75,000, somewhere in there on his YouTube. And we know darn well he pulls way more views on Twitch. All he's using his YouTube for right now is to re-upload his Twitch streams. So I want to just stress before we get into this, and I did this at the tail end last night, but I'm going to cover it now. I want to cover a little bit now. I want to cover a little bit later. And these are not small creators. Please keep that in mind. These are people who've been around for a hot minute. I would say most of the Debate Bros, which was the team I couldn't think of last night. So you got Nick, Augie, Boblax. Tom has kind of gotten into that scene. He wasn't initially in that scene. Turkey Tom versus Tom Dark. You got to consider, again, there's 2 channels with one individual. I only took his Turkey Tom account. It's older. It's a more established account. When I was going through and doing my numbers, I don't know if Weeby Web Surfer has a lot. He's not really a debate bro. He's more of the historians side. Who else do we have in here? Willie Mack. He kind of covers more of a not really rise and fall. He does basically just fall videos, I would say. Like the decline of. You know, we've got Keemstar. Keemstar is famous with his drama alert. He has a Keemstar show. He's got his own channel. And we're going to look at his channel at some point during this stream today, this afternoon, this morning. I don't know where I am. But whatever. We're going to cover that today. And then we're also going to go through and... Oh, I accidentally started to play. We're also going to go through and look at a couple other things. But let's start first with looking at our creators that are involved in this. So we have Xylie Gets Real. Xylie, we're going to look at her videos first. So let's go with her most popular. Looks like, her more popular videos were about 7 months to a year ago. She's been getting, 12,000, 3,500. Let's call it 3,000 views per video. I think that's a pretty good coverage. Her big draw, let's also do this. Let's see, her oldest content going back, it looks like, Xylie started with her videos, boom, 2 years ago. Let's look at her lives. Now, her lives are going to be bigger. She is more of a live streamer than a video creator. So, most popular, 24,000 views. 2 months ago, she got 24,000 views. I mean, you can see these views numbers are way more impressive on her live streams. And going with her live streams, her oldest, I would say she really starts picking up views regularly. Yeah, I would say right in around here. I mean, you're relatively normally getting 1,000 views. Yeah. So say about 2 years ago. Here's her 300 sub mark. I would say that's a pretty huge accomplishment right there. 2 years ago. So she's been doing this whole thing for roughly 2 years is kind of where I would say she's got her groove. Xylie's got 8,100 subscribers on here. It's probably because Xylie's more known for her Rumble channel where she's got 10,000 subscribers. She's definitely, way more known over there. I'm totally giving her shit right now. Van Luc. Let's look at Van Luc's channel now. Van Luc's 20,000 subscribers. So you look at back and forth initially on the surface. It's like, yeah, double the subscribers. But when you do the deep dive, which we're going to do here, because I want to give everybody their just looks. Okay, so she's had some really different videos. So Nikocado, Trisha Paytas. She's got some pretty high views, but let's looking at the age here. Most recent was probably this Nikocado video. It's a year old. Another Nikocado video. Nick draws views. Other than that, most of her big videos are probably a couple years old. Van Luc's been more pushing for the TikTok side at this point. I think she's been pretty vocal about that, so I don't think I'm giving anything away there. Her lives, yes, we're going to cover. But let's see. She's pulling smaller numbers, maybe more consistent. No, I would say it's overall she's pulling slightly less views on her lives than Xylie. So here's what I'm going to say off the bat, that these two creators are kind of even in my eyes. Yeah, their subscriber accounts, one's got 20,000, one's got 10,000 conservatively. But one's got 10, one's got 20. But when you look at Van Luc's not really put out a whole lot of content recently, and that's because she felt blackballed. And we're going to touch on that a little bit and where that's feelings coming from. I want to give everybody their, as best I could, looking over things here. So we're going to cover a couple different streams. We have the Tea Party files that Xylie did. Xylie did 2 of these videos, so let's go back to Xylie's page here. We're going to go to her lives, and we'll do latest. So here's the 2 videos that we're looking at right here. The Tea Party Files Exposed Part 2 and Part 1. So, give it just, what are the Tea Party Files? Okay, well, we had Salvo Pancakes, which, if you don't know who Salvo Pancakes is, he's quite the character in the community. He started out about a year ago. We're going to do this, filters. And we'll go upload date. Actually, no. Let's go view count. Because more views, older videos typically have more views. So you kind of see Salvo breaks into the scene roughly a year ago is really where the big downfall side of that. I would say actually his breakout moments probably 2 years ago, because we have a big moment with Def Noodles. And so if you haven't ever gone back and watched, there was a comedy show that Def Noodles put on. Now, at this point, Def Noodles was in his woke arc, is what I'm just going to call it. That's the best way to say it. He thought he was going to do this comedy club and have it be woke comedy, and it failed. Well, in all of this, Salvo's trying to break onto the scene, and he's got things where he's running, I don't really want to say he's running ops, but we're going to say it's an op just for broad terms here. I would say more bit probably is the best way to put it. He's got bits started against Tipster, which Tipster at this time, you're talking 2 years ago now, because we're late 2023. This is going back to 2022 early. Because we have a whole arc where Salvo gets popular, then things happen, then we go into the Buffalo downfall of Salvo pancakes, and there's a blizzard in Thanksgiving that really kind of cements the whole downfall, and it really leads to a Mr. Pancake's Wild Ride, which we'll call it that. And that leads to where, a lot of these other videos that we just saw from the past year came in. That's this downfall video. So those really got popular. Why? Because Salvo was pulling in a lot of views for Keemstar, and they had the Keemstar show together. And then he just, I feel Salvo allowed his character to become his personality. But anyway, that's enough on the pancakes, man. So where does this all lead and wrap up to? My position on doxing. I feel like anybody who was in that chat that was sober should have said something to Keemstar. I feel like Salvo's raised a lot about the IP address in with that video that I just showed, saying that IP is a dox, and I would say yes, it is, because IP is not necessarily directly a dox, but it can lead to it very quickly. You can go out there on the internet and you can find out exactly how. I do not suggest or condone it, but you can find it out. And then that leads me back into, let's look at other previous dramas. There was just a lot of stuff leaked there, like his whole actual face was doxed, I guess you could say. That's, I do this, I don't mind you seeing my face. Him as his creator character, he did not like showing his face. So he had created this caricature, I should say, that he represented when he did his videos. And then his face is leaked. So that anonymity was taken away from him. Looking back, we had the Maya Repzion Raw by Jane situation, where you had Maya leak documents that were court documents. They're public documents. You can go out there, you can pay on a website to find out information really quick. Legally. I mean, looking back, it used to be you paid to keep your information private. Now you pay to get the information. That's been the biggest switch in the years. It used to be, you had the Yellow Pages, if you're really old, came out, and it had all sorts of information that technically people would consider private now. They were just giving it to everybody back then. So, I don't know. That's kind of my broad position on doxing. Is doxing's bad. What I think Keemstar did was a dox. I think Keemstar should address it. I'm surprised kind of that we've kind of pushed it off as much as we have. And I think that just because Salvo has also gained a reputation about doing bad things. I'm not saying Salvo's a good person. I'm not saying Salvo is 100% in the right here, because you know what he did? He could have handled it a million better ways, but I think it's the most salvo way possible that he handled it. You know, his character is a little over the top, and he's comfortable with that. I commend him a bit with that. I guess he puts it out there a lot harder than I do. You know, he's still going on kick, and salvo. Anyway, so yeah, so let's get back into the drama here. So we've got Van Luke, we've got Xylie. So what the hell happened? Well, let's get into it. Starting with this document, we're going to start here. Stream 1, I timed it out. It started roughly 8 o'clock. And these times are all Central Times or my time. If you want to convert everything over for Eastern Time, add an hour to everything I'm saying. If you're in Mountain and Pacific, you're going to take an hour or two off of these times. So this is all Central Time that I plotted all this stuff out. So we're going to start here with, let's look at what initially came out with all this.
Okay. All right. Now this part, after my stream, I am going to apologize to Van Luke. I have to admit, it was Van Luke and Abby. And you already know at this point I didn't like Abby, all right? And I was actually kind of pissed that Van Luke would even bring Salvo on. Like, I was pissed. And I got real shady here. And I shouldn't have. When at this point, I had already made peace with her. And I was memeing in this group chat. I was being messy. And I am sorry for that. I am very sorry about that. I was being real messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up apologizing to her, and might even give her the timestamp or whatever. So.
Okay. So what happened? Well, we had Keemstar come in here. And Keemstar posts this link for this video, and we're going to go on Van Luke's page here, and we're going to look at her live streams. We're talking about this video right here on her page. So this was on Van Luke's birthday. It was kind of a birthday stream for her. She's covering just some drama going on in the community. Now, I want to stick up for Van Luke by saying, if you look at this timeline, going back here, look at how many of these videos came out in the past year. We're going to filter again. We're going to say, still view count. This year. Okay, so this filters out some of the older stuff. Look at this, 10 months ago, 11 months ago. So these will all be December, January. Anytime you see 10, 11 months ago, that would have been a February stream. All these 10 months ago, and the Dead on Dave, you got Jalen, you got Sen, you've got Slug in this list, I know somewhere. DJ Screwdriver, he was talking about it 6 months ago, so he'd have been in April. Let's see, yep. Slug was 2 weeks ago, so let's see. Yeah, no, here we go, 11 months ago, back in December. Covering the pancakes drama. So, and that's where I wish I probably should have sorted this a little better, but, let's see. Yeah, I think that gives you a good idea. You know, like, it was an ongoing drama at the time. So I don't knock Van Luke for wanting to cover this. Xylie, let's look at her. She also... Boom, boom, boom. We're going to go down the rabbit hole here. 8 months ago. 11 months ago. And I think she actually covered in here. One year ago. So this is October. Or sorry, November. I keep saying October. We're in November now. So... this would have been right about the downfall of the Keemstar show. So then there is another stream in here. I know I saw, and now I'm not finding it, of course. I don't really have a good way to mark this stuff when I'm looking through a list. Here's her Dear SNT, and I want to show this. I did not show this last night. This video came out January 1st. It was a New Year's stream, okay? So this would have been 3 days before the whole stream that Van Luke did. And if we look back again, I really wish this would have just gone back to where I was. Dear SNT, shortly before that. Oh man, I really want to find this because I feel like this does go into the timeline. Might have been just before. Hey, look at that right here. Boom. Fireball. This was Salvo's thing. So you have Xylie went on to Salvo's show, and this would have been a year ago. We're looking at October 2nd, okay, 2022. I know this drawing's going back quite a bit. So October, you can kind of say maybe, I wouldn't say Xylie was cool with Salvo, but she was cool enough to go on his show. Okay, and then a couple months later, but with Salvo turning on her, then you get back into the Dear S&T chat. So she's very anti-Salvo at this point. That's where Xylie's at, okay? So I think it's worth giving the mindset. Now, separate from this drama, you heard Xylie say, hey, look, we had a truce. It was not a public truce at that point. We're going to cover the truce part of this as thoroughly as I can. But you had Xylie apologize, I didn't want to cough in everybody's ear there. You had Xylie was in a little bit of a drama back and forth because of Rich Lux. Is somebody that Van Luke was streaming with that Xylie didn't care for. Let's go to Van Luke's page. And so Van Luke was going, I don't really know the whole exact drama with Rich Lux, but I know there was some dislike, we'll just put it at that, between Xylie, Van Luke, and this rich guy. Well, Xylie and Van Luke made their peace kind of sometime, I want to say December. I think we're going to see later on when I go over some of the tweets that, yeah, it was December. And then I think it was actually December, like mid-December. So they made up, they're cool, but their truce was not known yet. Their truce really wasn't official, and we'll see this from a tweet from Van Luke that it wasn't official until January. So why does this all matter, right? Well, Xylie is in this chat with these big creators, and she sits there and says, hey, don't go on there. Your name is in the title, and we'll show that real quick. She wants you on bad. Well, the name on the title thing goes back to Van Luke. We're going to look at the live streams again. And at that time, I think you can kind of see a trend here, and this is what I wanted to point out. Van Luke wasn't using ats, really, at least in her lives, until after Rich Lux came on. I think Rich might have maybe gave her some pointers. I'm not even aware of how to do the whole adding really well. But she added Keemstar, Teddy Fresh, Abby Blackbird, Raw by Jane, because she had Raw by Jane on.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And okay. What does this adding do? Well, it's just going at their YouTube pages, okay? So, Keemstar, Teddy Fresh is obviously defunct because that channel gets taken down. If you watch Xylie's videos, you can kind of see that happen. Raw by Jane, and then Abby Blackbird, because she had them on. And what does it do? It just draws a little bit more attention to your channel. It's a smart thing to do. I'm not going to lie. Let's look at her videos. Is she doing it in her videos too? Yes. Here. Boom. Right around the same time. She's adding Rich Lux again and somebody else at Rich Lux. So you can kind of see when she started doing it. She wasn't doing that before. And I think it's just a smart thing that she was trying to do to draw more attention to her channel. I'm just going to leave it at that. Xylie, I want to give an impartial look here. Xylie will go right about the same time. Is Xylie doing it? Yes. Xylie's doing the same thing. So I can't really fault her because she's sitting there, she's adding. I'm sorry, I couldn't mute for that one. She's adding Destiny. She's adding all these people in her live streams. It's just drawing attention. You want that viewership, especially with what's going on at that point, you know, like Illuminati stuff, Froggy Fresh stuff. It helps you grow. So, but anyway, going back to, so the Tea Party files, boom. We have Xylie drop this message in there. It doesn't really look like a big deal, okay? But let's take it into context of who's in here. It's not just a private chat between her and Keemstar. It's a group chat. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's go back to my docket here. Now, we're going to hit right here. Xylie talks about Optimus, okay? So Optimus is somebody in this group chat.
Okay, so they're talking about meeting people. Oh, this was Optimus's moment of, oh my god. Isn't Salvo from Ohio? Yes. Hella, Ohio YouTubers have been getting exposed. Makes me feel like shit, LMAO. I'm from Ohio too, and now I know the stigma exists. I said, Chris said Ohio is a hellscape now. The most sane Ohioan. Ohio YouTube scene is in shambles. Poor Optimus. Bless his heart. And yes, I got, and before anybody says anything, I asked Optimus, do people know he's from Ohio? And he said yes. So, suck my dick.
Okay. I think it's funny at the end there. But what does that mean? Well, I want to put that on pause. Let's put that on the back burner real quick, okay? Let's go to this other video first.
And yes, Babs, the group chat knows I'm doing this.
Okay. And then I don't know if this is the last video we're going to watch.
It's like a revolving door with Augie. It's actually kind of fucking hilarious. I mean, it's not hilarious in the fact that he keeps getting suspended, but it's hilarious because he's bitching. Listen, I read these shits. This is the third time I read these shits, okay?
Okay. So I wanted to do those videos real quick in succession there, and we're going to talk about all three at once, okay? So, why does this matter? Well, you got Xylie is talking about Optimus. She says that she talked to Optimus and got got Optimus's permission. The group chat knows she's doing this, so she's talked to everybody in the group chat and let them know, hey, look, I'm going to make this video. Somewhere in between this time, if you want to go back and look, between 3 hours and 58 minutes in and 4 hour mark in her first stream, Xylie does mention that she's also making her edits in pink, which if we go back to the video that I brought up for my doxing, we'll see.
Okay, so
boom, look, Xylie's edits are in pink. So she's gone through and edited out hopefully the doxing information, okay? So, and then we get, boom, at the 4 hour and 1 minute mark, we're talking about this is the third time I've read these. Okay, so why does that matter? Well, she's been through this stream at least a few times, and in all of that, she never thought to reach out to let Van Luke know, hey, look, I said some shitty stuff that's going to come out in this stream. Just want to give you a heads up.
It's time for part 2.
I don't understand why we played this. But, hey, I must have clicked the link accidentally instead. Hey, you know, look, heads up, we're going to cover some stuff in this that you may not be happy about. Okay? I've gone through this, I've edited out private information, but I came across these text messages, and I said some shitty things about you. Just giving you a heads up. Xylie doesn't do that. Okay, so that's kind of going to irk Van Luke, and we'll see that happen, but let's keep going here, because I'm going to move this along quicker than I did last night. We're going to go into Stream 2 real quick. Stream 2 starts around 2:30 on 11/4. these timelines are important, and I'll show why. So let's see where we're at. We can close this stuff out. So we've got all of the Tea Party stuff we've covered for the first part. We're now at part 2. Okay. Sorry. So what Xylie's doing right now is she's got a message. I think you might be able to see it. Lyrics is in there saying, hey, can I call in? And Xylie's like, hey, I'm not doing call-ins right now. I'm trying to get through this, okay? But Lyrics and Xylie work it out to send a DM.
Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. I can answer that right now. Okay, so do you mind if I read this out?
Lyrics just said all good in the chat.
Because that happens later. Okay, so Lyrics' question is, I want to know your justification for finding the police report on Salvo and posting it in the chat. Like, I want to know your side of the argument.
Okay, and I don't want to cut into Xylie's stream too much there. This is not to show what Lyrics asked. This is not to show what Xylie's answer is. It's just a matter of, I want to show that Xylie kind of derails this day 2 stream a little bit here for Lyrics, but it is topical. So I will concede that. Lyrics is wanting to know about things pertaining to what's in this group chat. So I don't mind Xylie getting off the rails a little bit here. We're going to start covering some more in-depth stuff here. But let me think of how I want to do this, because I feel like timeline's very important, and we're going to get into a couple videos coming up here where we're talking about Xylie's apologies and responses and stuff. And I think it's going to be best if we switch screens real quick. Bear with me. Boom, boom. We're going to go here. All right. So now you guys should be able to see the my screenshots here. We're going to go through these real quick. So these screenshots are of Xylie and Van Luc's Twitter. It's important for timeline here. So Xylie, you heard in the very first video, she gets to those chats. She says, hey, I screwed up. I am going to make up for this. I'm sorry. I am going to reach out to Van Luke. So these kind of come after that. This is getting into her day 2 stream. And in and around the timeline of I would say between the day 2 stream starting and, yeah, because this is right at the tail end of her day 1 stream, which is the first part of the stream, which we just saw. She says, yeah, I was petty. Gonna message Van Luke tomorrow. I'm tired as of now. Cool. So she's wanting to reach out. She's wanting to give Van Luke that benefit of the doubt, or not benefit of the doubt. I would say she's wanting to reach out and mend bridges. So, then later on in the day, that's where we see her coming up. Okay, I'm up. Give me an hour, and we'll do part 2. And then live now, part 2, and in like an hour. So when is this? It's 2:30 in the afternoon on the 4th. Okay, it's when we know Xylie starts her Tea Party video too. And again, these times are Central Time. Add an hour for Eastern, subtract an hour for Mountain, and subtract 2 hours for Pacific. Okay, Van Luke also is going to do a live that we're going to cover. Van Luke's live starts at 5:42 p.m. my time. In between all of this, so around 1:16, we get the Hold My Poodle Twitter video, which I do have a copy of and we're going to go over. But let's look at this really quick. So 1:16, okay? So Xylie's starting at 2:30. Xylie said she's going to message after she wakes up, and she's going to bed around 5. And then we get, where is it? Boom, 2:30. And then this would have been shortly before, so this post came out about 1:30 that she said, hey, I'm going to go live in like an hour, because she goes live at 2:30. Okay, so got a pretty good timeline there. So 1:30 she posts this, 2:30 is when she goes actually live. So just 15 minutes before she posts this, let's go back. Xylie put up this post that says, okay, I'm up. Give me an hour and we'll do part 2. Now, I thought I had that, but I don't. That's in and around this time frame when Van Luke posts this video. So let's watch Van Luke's Twitter video first.
So let me get this straight. So I get sent a video, and in it are DMs being leaked. And come to find out, even though people were approaching me, telling me that Xylie was speaking badly about me in DMs and stuff, and I went straight to her to keep the alleged truce that now I'm finding out I was the only one keeping. I would go to her and ask her, and she would deny it. But now just to find out that she was actually doing it. Am I getting this right? Because I ain't been around for a while. Not only that, but when people would approach me talking about Xylie, I've had multiple where I would clearly say, look, me and her made a truce. I'm not going to talk badly. I'm keeping I'm keeping my word.
Now I'm going to let this whole thing play. It gets a little descriptive here.
So I was the only one who did that? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And why did this have to get exposed without, like, at least giving a bitch a heads up first?
So I think that statement right there kind of underlines the main drama here. Okay, Van Luke's mad. Why is she mad? Well, she's mad because she didn't get a heads up. Okay, Xylie proves that she's gone through this stream multiple times. She gave a heads up to everybody in the group chat. She even reached out to Optimus about making sure it's okay to mention the Ohio thing. Later on, we'll see with some of the Aiko stuff that Xylie says, hey, she wasn't going to show everything here. I don't know if I can prove or disprove that. I probably could go back and watch the very beginning where Aiko's talking about, and maybe we'll do that later. But let's keep going here.
I would have liked to have known that this was going to happen publicly. I would have liked to know privately about it, maybe because, I would have wanted to know privately about it.
Okay, again, here we're going to get pretty descriptive.
At least that way I could have made sure to get me some lube, fix me up a little bit before, I'm going to take it up the ass. I don't know. What? Like, am I taking this right or am I wrong? Y'all tell me. Be honest about it, too.
Okay, so there we go. So yeah, I did do that recording, so that's where we're at. So that's this video. So when Van Luke puts that video out, she then goes through and makes this tweet about half an hour later. Let's call it that. And it says that the cherry on top of all this is that the messages that you saw happened with the birthday stream that she was doing. She was enjoying herself. Maybe she couldn't have handled having Keemstar on, and I know Salvo was on at one point in that stream, I believe. I think Abby mentioned last night, if you go back and watch my awful version of this stream, that it was privated. So I don't know. But yeah, it's just basically, you know, Van Luke sitting there saying, you guys were welcome to come on my stream, and she wanted, obviously she tagged people. She'd have been happy if she got Keemstar on, but that's where we get into, it would have gotten her views and support, which is now obvious that certain individuals didn't want me to have. She feels like that was a big slight against her that Xylie did. She said that she's always done her best to support the community instead of tearing people down. We go into, I do not have screenshots of these chats, but you can go back and look. Basically, all these chats and screenshots below show is that someone reached out to Van Luke, was talking shit, saying that Xylie was talking shit. Xylie, or Van Luke then reached out to Xylie, asked her about this. This would have been back in July. Xylie said, nope, not happening. So that's all that's covered here. And then Van Luke touches on the whole fact that back then, Abby was highly critical of Xylie. We're going to see later, I do have some messages that are from Abby, also in this Twitter back and forth, where Abby's like, I wanted to mend a bridge with Xylie, and I'm still open to that too. But, you know, Abby was not friendly with Xylie back then. Xylie was not friendly with Abby back then. I mean, if you watch some content streams here and there, you'd kind of be aware of this. So, Van Luke actually was talking down Abby a lot and saying, no, Xylie's a good person. So that's what this goes into. So this is where we get Xylie coming forward, and this is kind of her public apology, I think. And looking again, timestamp, we're at 1:30, 1:20, an hour before Xylie's going to start her second T stream, and we're going to get to that stream. She says, and I'm going to read this flat out, I was being petty as hell because of Salvo. Really the only time. Well, we know that's not necessarily true based on what we saw, what we see from other people later on, and I don't know. Xylie can handle herself on that. But let me go back here. Really the only time. I was wrong, and I am so sorry. I meant what I said to you in the DMs. I have no ill will towards you, and I feel really bad. What I want to emphasize here is, along with this, is being her apology. She said that I meant what I said to you in the DMs. This is at 1:20. I'm going to show you later on, there was no DMs. Unless there's something that I don't know about that I didn't see somewhere, I will say as a viewer, I am not able to prove the DMs other than what Van Luke shows. And we're going to show that. Van Luke did leak DMs that we're going to cover. Van Luke just kind of goes over that she's shocked. She felt like she was blackballed a little from having Keemstar on, and Brantley had reached out and letting me know she wanted to support me, and so she felt like it was kind of wrong. Oh, we got some breaking stuff going on from the Slug, of all people. Let's see. Let's go. I feel like this is probably the more formal apology from Xylie. And this, again, 1:30, 1:23. So we're literally right about an hour before Xylie's going to start streaming. She said, I had a moment of anger. I took it out on you. I was wrong. There's not much more I can say. There's not much I can say more than that. I'm going to be honest. I forgot that was in there until I was going over it for the stream. Xylie, you went through this. You said you went through everything 3 times. You said that you had spent the time to reach out to other individuals. I kind of am siding with Van Luke here. It's strange, I should say to me, that you wouldn't have seen this in going through this 3 times. That's how much it was really just being petty. So check it. If you want nothing to do with me, if you want nothing more to do with me. I get it, but no, I apologize sincerely. I think this is probably the most sincere apology you're going to see from Xylie. And I feel like her view is that this is a public apology, but it's not really. If you go on Xylie's page, you're not going to find an apology unless you're digging through the replies like I did to get these screenshots. So I don't know if I could say it's a public apology. It was take place on a public sphere. You could dig through it. Van Luke comes around and says, I'm a very forgiving person, but she feels like she was lied to. I'm not the horrible person that people try to paint me out to be. I just wish you would have taken the time to do the same and basically reach out and let me know. That's kind of where we're getting at. This person, I don't know if they're actually a guy or not, so even though their name is dude, but they're just coming in and saying, are you sure cockblock was the right word? Because basically right here, if you look down below, that's this one. Oh my goodness, where is it? Right here we have Van Luke saying that she felt like it was a cock block. Okay, well, that's where this guy's coming in. And you get a lot of tangential stuff going on. It's Twitter. You got people replying to certain parts, so you got comments under certain parts. And I wanted to outline this, that this is off one of those tangents. He's just saying, hey, is cock block the right word? And Van Luke's like, probably not the right word. Gatekeeping, maybe. I would say a little bit of blackballing. And I know that's like, oh my God, term. But this is what I really want to cover right here down below. Xylie's reply, this is where it starts to feel disingenuous. I'm just going to say it. She says that if you believe in any way Keem actually listens to me, I don't know what to tell you. I've never met a man more hard-headed and stubborn, hard-headed man than him. I wish I could tell him what to do. Maybe his ass wouldn't do the dumb shit that he does. Van Luke kind of replies to this, and if we look at the timeline now we're at 3:16. This is taking place at 3 o'clock, so Xylie's a half an hour into her stream at this point, this day 2 stream, and they're going back and forth in this Twitter shit. Van Luke's just basically saying, hey, I feel like you're focusing on a small point of the conversation. This is a reply I wanted to cut out because I don't agree with who Van Luke is calling a Xylie dick rider here, and I don't want them targeted in any way, shape, or form, but basically saying that, and this is what I want outlined from this, not really who she's saying things to. Xylie fucked up and violated my trust, ruined creators from potentially supporting my channel and me, which equates to stopping her earnings. And she thinks it's slimy, not to mention illegal. She kind of discusses over how it's illegal down below. A public conversation isn't too much to ask since I no longer trust her. And down below that, we have Xylie coming back in saying, ma'am, I said I fucked up. I said I was sorry. I even called myself a shit person for doing it. How many more times do you want me to apologize? I don't know if you know this, but my influence is very little. Actually, going by subs alone, you're the bigger creator. I kind of wanted to start out with showing that they're kind of even, just because this point's brought up, and I ain't shit. So yeah, Xylie's got half the subscribers on here of Van Luke, but she's pulling more views than Van Luke at times on her lives. This is going to get into the Abby stuff, and this is going into days later. So what we're going to do is, and this is also technically afterwards, and they're going back and forth. This is all from November 5th. So, and Xylie's stream, day 2 stream, takes place all on November 4th. So let's switch back. Let's go into the day 2 stuff. Now we've got the Twitter side. We got more than that kind of covered. Let's go back to here and go into day 2. So we already showed where Lyrics asked a question. It was relevant. So the next thing that we're going to do is look at This right here.
Okay. Well, got more evidence for the cops. Tries anything but how pathetic he is. I think I play this, actually. Lacey? I've already talked to Ben.
Okay, so who's she talking to? Well, look right over here in chat. We got Lacey in chat. Van Luke wants a conversation with you. We are 5 hours and 10 minutes into a stream that started at 2:30 my time. Mathing real quick off the board. We're looking at 7:40 my time. So this is 7 o'clock at night.
And Luke, I DM'd her and I told her I'm streaming and I am 5 hours in my stream. I'm only on August 28th and I have to make it to October 30th. So I cannot talk to her right now.
Okay. We're gonna show a little bit more of this, but what we're gonna do is this lines up with a point on Van Luke's stream, and this is how I kind of got the timelines that I got later on. So let's
A sincere one. So we're gonna pick up from this. She waited until after I did that tweet thing, and that was it. Oh look, 44 minutes ago she said something. I'm going live. Me being accepted in, I don't know. Maybe I'm just Twitter things too. That video, maybe y'all will see that speaks. Else, I'm trying to keep the, you know what I mean? I'm trying to keep the chat up because she was more than happy to, you know, and so it's just like, you know, don't opportunities that were afforded to me on my channel for my podcast and blocking me from getting the support that I know damn well I deserved.
Okay, so that's Van Luke's point right there. I really want to get into where
about she's gonna have them tomorrow situation, and Luke wants genuinely the chat logs is hot right now. She's
okay right here.
That well shows people's true colors, if you ask me.
So this is we're looking at like an hour 20 minutes
I don't know if anyone has hit her up in her chat yet saying you're alive and wanting a combo. Well shit, let me go up in there then. Bet you she won't.
Okay, so
it gets real.
guys, Van Luke's gonna go on to Xylie's stream.
Lacey? I've already talked to Van Luke. I DM'd her and I told her I'm streaming and I am 5 hours in my stream. I'm only on August 28th and I have to make it to October 30th. So
We just heard this. So this is me lining up the streams.
cannot talk to her right now.
There you go.
I'm busy. And I DM'd her and said it publicly, my apologies, and that I was pissed off about Salvo being on there and I got petty and I apologize. There's nothing more for me to say. I was wrong. And I told her that. So there we go.
I want to just point out, like, if you look at the chat over here, you can kind of see, like, if you're a Van Luke fan and you're in her chat and this is what you're hearing from Xylie.
Of course.
Okay, I think I play this.
Well, there's your answers.
I think it was, oh my God. I can't think of the term that I want to use right now. Divine? We're going to go with divine luck, maybe? That Van Luke just happens to go into Xylie's stream at the moment where you've got Xylie, and again, you know, I'm going to try and show you for full context. Xylie's side.
Rock bottom, worse than evidence for the cops.
Boom. Here it is. Lacey's come in. She just messaged and just says all she says is Van Luke wants a conversation with you.
Tries anything but how pathetic he is. I think I play this, actually. Lacey, I've already talked to Van Luke. I DM'd her and I told her I'm streaming and I am 5 hours in my stream. I'm only on August 28th and I have to make it to October 30th. So I cannot talk to her right now. I'm busy. And
I think that last part really kind of hurt your position there, Xylie.
I DM'd her and said it publicly, my apologies, and that I was pissed off about Salvo being on there and I got petty and I apologize. There's nothing more for me to say. I was wrong. And I told her that. So there we go. Okay, I think I play this.
Okay. So oh, I just noticed that the Luc7 person's not a fan. I don't want to dive into that. Anyway, so yeah, that's my point where I'm lining up these streams. Now let's go back. I want to jump back into looking at at the messages here. Let's go back to this. So I know we covered a lot. Okay, Van Luke, 5:42. She goes live. Well, you just saw it was an hour and 20 minutes in. 7 o'clock. Xylie, she's 5 hours in. Stream starts at 2 o'clock. 7:30. So we're right in about that timeline. Because I don't think Van Luke actually went live at this time. She says going live in a few. She actually went live at 6 o'clock is what I'm guessing. I'll show my proof then a little bit later. But, so you got Van Luke's an hour and 40 minutes in. So 7:30, 7:40 is kind of where we're calling it. And I just wanted to show that that's this. Okay. So we're going to come back to, there is an important Xylie tweet that I want to pause and focus on. I said to you in the DMs. I meant what I said to you in the DMs. Okay, we're going to start that now. Let's go back to the streams. Oh, God, I hope that showed on screen. Oh, God. Oh, come on now. There we go. So yeah, just to go over that, I want to make sure that I got it on screen. So, yep, going live in a few, 5:42, again, Central Time. Live now, 2:30, 5 hours into a stream, roughly. And it's actually 5 hours and 10 minutes if you look at the timestamps. It's 7:40. Doesn't start till actually 6 o'clock, hour and 20 minutes in, right? Hour and 20 minutes in, so 7:20, 7:30. We're within like a 10. I would call it 7:30. Just we know the line's up right here. I think if you really want to get into it, I think Van Luke started at like a little after 6 with her stream, and Xylie is at. Oh god, these are other things I want to cover. Boom, boom, boom. 5 hours and 10 minutes, starting at 2:30, 7:30 ish. Because I believe Xylie sent that live now thing. She was actually streaming when she sent that, so it's actually a little after her time start. So I think we're pretty accurate on timeline is what I'm getting at. But yeah, what I want to focus on is Xylie's message, and it is out there. I meant what I said to you in the DM, so this is what I want to cover next. Let's go back here to the streams. All right. Back into the streams, back into the timeline. All right, so this is the Lacey lineup mark is what I'm calling it. So you had where she says that she's not going to stop her stream. Okay. Let's go right here and see this.
I just DM'd it. Wait, you just DM'd what? What did you DM? Jesus fucking Christ, what did you DM?
By the way, get ready for freaking awesomeness.
Wait, you just DM'd what?
Keemstar here.
Oh, Xylie, play the message above on Steam. Okay, everybody, hold on. He just DM'd us.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my leak group chat gave to me 5 Harley plays, 4 H3H3s, 3 Anissa Jombies, 2 Boogies, and 1 Salvo Pancakes.
There's your clip, by the way, if you want it for Christmas or the holidays.
God damn it. Oh my god.
Okay, so why am I showing this? Well, guess what? Xylie just derailed her stream to show a Keemstar video. She wasn't going to stop for anything. Xylie, to be fair, was not feeling this stream. I don't feel like she was. I said in my last video I didn't feel like she was. I don't. She pauses a lot. She's got a lot going on. You can tell she's not fucking feeling doing this for another 8 hours. Don't blame her, honestly. On to the next video here.
Hey, she has every right to, Ellis. I was a shitbag.
Okay. What's going on here? Well, let's see if we can find Ellis. Right here. Van Luc is going off on you.
She has every right to. I was a shitbag. I can't be mad at her for it. If it was me, I'd be going off too. Can't be mad at her. It is.
Just to line things up, 8 o'clock here.
That's what it is. I was a shitbag. I mean, what else am I supposed to say?
And Ellis says fair enough in the chat. I feel like that was probably the most sincere emotion, but just give you a lineup. Again, you know, 6:30, 2:30. So 9 o'clock actually, roughly, is when we're looking at time was here. Van Luc's already done with her video at this point. I'm going to show that. But let's look at this last little bit right here.
I apologized on here. I apologized last night on stream. I apologized to her on Twitter, and I apologized in the DMs. I basically apologized in 4 different places. And I was wrong. I didn't get to message her last night because I was just like way too fucking tired. So
Okay.
I'm saying publicly, I was wrong. I said publicly, I was wrong, and I was being petty over Salvo. So
Again, I showed this with the tweets. Yeah, it was public, but it was in replies. Yes, she does apologize on the first stream. But she never let Van Luc know even that what was going on. So Van Luc never saw any of that shit. All she knew is that, hey, here's what Xylie said about this. And then you got Xylie saying, I'm going to message her. And then you have chatters coming in because Van Luc has started a stream and she's kind of going in on Xylie.
I mean, what else can I do?
And now you have, you know, Van Luc's stream is over. You still got a couple people. And Ellis, you have Ellis. You have Lacey, who we've heard, and now what I feel like Xylie is responding to right here is one of her mods saying something. Now, I could probably dig through the chat here and really make sense of things, but I encourage anybody who's really, really wanting to go with that in depth, have at it. But basically, it's kind of playing off of what we just heard previously.
I mean, honestly. Okay, it was a meme.
Okay, so now we're going off on Keemstar memes. So Ellis again pops in and just says, hey, at least you admit it. Xylie, some don't even do that. So this Ellis person's kind of level-headed about the whole thing. She's had the benefit of seeing things that I would say at this point Van Luke has not seen. At the same point, we've kind of seen Xylie's apology kind of downgrade a little bit. And I wouldn't saying downgrade a little bit is being kind. I'm going to be honest. I feel like her apology downgraded quite substantially. Oh good Lord, did I not show that on stream? Well, you got the audio at least this time. There's not really anything to show on stream, but let's go back and just double check, make sure. So again, Van Luke is going off on you in the chat. We had the first video where we have this.
Every right to. I was a shitbag. I can't be mad at her for it. If it was me, I'd be going off too. Can't be mad at her. It is what it is. I was a shitbag. I mean, what else am I supposed to say?
Okay, and then, we get the fair enough, and then that leads into this, where her mod's saying, and Xylie apologized on stream and on Twitter, so what more does Van Luke want? Conversation serves no point, in my opinion. I disagree, but we're going to go back.
Because I was just like way too fucking tired.
Okay. Right here.
I apologized on here. I apologized last night on stream. I apologized to her on Twitter, and I apologized in the DMs. I basically apologized in 4 different places. And I was wrong. I didn't get to message her last night because I was just like way too fucking tired. So, I'm saying publicly, I was wrong. I said publicly, I was wrong, and I was being petty over Salvo. So, I mean, what else can I do? I mean, honestly. Okay,
Okay, so, and then you got Ellis coming in and saying, hey, at least he admitted it. Some people don't even do that. Okay, I feel like this Ellis person's a crossover viewer. I feel like Lacey, that you heard the first time, is probably a viewer from Van Luke's side that came in and said things. And when I say said things, it's basically, hey, Van Luke, who just wants on your stream. Or wants you to come on her stream. Apologies. Don't want to misconstrue. Van Luke wants you to come on her stream. She said that she's not stopping. She's wanting to get through this. We saw then she did rails 20 minutes later to listen to the Keemstar sing along. And then we have these other 2 apologies. One being directly regarding what Ellis says. And then we have a mod that comes in, says something. Xylie kind of spins off of that. And then you got Ellis following up with this. So there you go. Neat and tidy. That's all of the Tea Party videos, so I can close these all out, thankfully. And we're going to just get it down to what we absolutely need, which is the last video. So we've already seen some of this. So Van Luke's video starts at, I'm going to say it's like a little after 6 o'clock. So we've already seen the lineup mark. We've already seen what Van Luke saw with the apology. And just to prove it, look, hey, here's Lacey in here saying, I tried. This is the same Lacey that you've seen previously. . Yeah, you can see where she, that's based off of what she searched. Then Van Luke searches, sees, gets the unfortunate timing of going into, Xylie responding to Lacey. So now we're going to get into some interesting DM stuff here.
Not surprising, to be honest. Not surprising. But I don't think that she did tell me that. Let me go back to my freaking... Hold up, wait a minute.
Okay, so I'm going to speed this up because Van Luke goes through and she's going to pull up DMs, but it takes a hot second here. Okay, here we go. So I want to pause here first of all. Let's look. The last time they talked was back in August. So that kind of supports some stuff that you see from Van Luke or later on where she says that, hey, I spoke to her in July. So July, August. You can see they kind of talk maybe once in a while. They're not the closest of friends. They ain't tight like that, but, So what we're wanting to look at here is, hey, look, I understand you being upset. I am truly sorry. Like I said, I was being petty and angry at Salvo, and I took it out on you. So this is the message that we're really going to scrutinize here.
Oh, that's me talking about another fake bitch. Anyways,
Boom. Here is the coin drop for me. That came in at 155. All right, we're going to go back real quick, and we're going to switch again. And let's look at these. Boom, done. All right, it's showing. Again, 120. I meant what I said to you in the DMs. As far as we know, as a viewer, this is the DMs. This is the only thing I can find. Like I said, unless there's some other shit I don't know about, this is all I can find. So, it wasn't until almost, 3 hours later, a little over 3 hours later, that Xylie comes in and says, hey, I'm sorry. And then you got Van Luke almost an hour later, 40 minutes later, saying, hey, I'm going to go live about this. That lines up with what we saw with the other message where we go back and see Van Luke saying when she's going live. I can pull that up really quick. So, when does that happen? There we go. We got Van Luke saying, hey, going live soon. Not at that point. This is not to be confused with Xylie's message. It was literally when she's live. So, and then from there we go here. All right. Just read this. I'm going live in a few to talk about it. You're more than welcome to join the Discord call if you like. Okay. So now we see 5 new messages. I kind of want to outline this here because this is all on Twitter. You can see that Van Luke hasn't read these messages yet. So 5:40, she goes live roughly 20 minutes later. Now we're talking another hour and 20 minutes. And when did these other messages come in?
She DM'd me this after my tweet and said, hey, look, I understand you being upset and I'm truly sorry. Like I said, I was being petty and angry at Salvo, which that is also a lie because there were multiple times where she was talking shit. It wasn't just that stream. And I took it out on you. And that's also a lie because it's not because of that. Because from the beginning, she was taking things out on me. And I have receipts where she said that it was because her first thing she said it was because of guilt by association because I was friends with Rich Lux, which I found odd because after she was cool with him on stream or whatever, she was still talking out the side of her mouth about me. So if it was truly guilt by association, then why in the hell was it that her feelings about me didn't change immediately once she started to befriend Rich Lux? So I don't know.
By the way, I think that covers a lot of the previous drama too, and that's why I wanted to be silent right there.
The story keeps changing. I don't know. I'm just saying. I said, just read this. I'm going live in a few. This was at 5:40.
Okay, so we got another timestamp here. 6:38. Well, she started at 6. These messages came in while she's doing this live stream. Would have been about 40 minutes ago. If you take this timeline, go back 40 minutes. Right about here is where she gets those messages. And so she was live. We can see right here. So she's not had a chance to read these messages. So she's just reading them now. This is Xylie saying, I'm live right now, going through this whole group chat. I've spent 9 hours on the first 5 months. I'm doing the other 5 months tonight. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. That's all. I think if we didn't have the context of all the stuff that went on with the message at 3 o'clock, kind of laughing at Van Luke, saying Keemstar's hard-headed, he doesn't listen to me, and it kind of downplayed the apology a bit. On top of that, we got the apologies didn't really come in when Xylie is saying they came in. They didn't come until much later. We just literally see that right now. Unless, like I said, there's some other proof out there that I don't know about. As a viewer, this is the best I can put together. Hey, Van Luke didn't get these apologies until like 5 o'clock at night. You're saying at 1:30 you already apologized and everything else. So as a viewer, I'm thinking you said stuff, but here's the proof saying that you didn't say it until after you started your stream and everything else. Same stream that you said you're not going to derail, you're not going to do any of this stuff for, but you derailed for Keemstar, you derailed for lyrics. You had other derails in there that this is personal stuff, like, hey, I want to get a drink, hey, I wanted to... I could tell you weren't into it, Xylie. Not faulting you for it. I mean, I'm probably going through this stream a lot quicker than I did last night. Because I'm covering the same drama. But, it's just it's the build up and the totality of it. When you're looking at it from Van Luke's side, it's a shitty fucking apology.
She responds a whole hour and a half later. I'm going live in a few to talk about it. You're more than welcome to join a Discord call if you like. I didn't know if she was live at this point already. I'm not even gonna lie. I was already so fucking upset. I honestly didn't give a fuck. I
think that outlines Van Luke's position right there. I mean, she's kind of blind angry at this point. She was given no heads up. You dig through the timeline, you see that Xylie's giving heads up to everybody but her. That's kind of how it looks. She's talking shit about her in a group chat. It's not a private message. And all these other creators are seeing it.
So, and I wasn't checking on her like that. And...
fair enough. I mean, they're in an argument.
She says an hour, you can see 5:40. Well, no, actually like an hour later. I'm live right now going through this whole group chat, which obviously now is very loud and clear, means more to her, whatever. I spent 9 hours the first 5 months. I'm doing the other 5 tonight. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, that's all. I'm just now seeing that. I had not seen that, so there's that.
Okay.
But honestly, I don't know. That is just I'm sorry. There's that. Like,
I really hope Xylie sees this and kind of sees, like, that's kind of how it felt to her.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. You could call me petty. You could call me picky. You could call me whatever you want. But the disrespect that was done, my show was affected. My bag was affected. My support was affected. Me being accepted into the community was affected.
I think that's valid points that she laid out right there. Again, biggest thing with this whole thing, going all the way back to the first Tea Party video, this is in the Tea Party chat. Party. This is not a Keemstar direct message. I think if anybody did that to me, I'd be pissed. As an understatement. I'd be livid. I'm just starting out in this sphere. To be a small on the scale of YouTube as a whole, but still a lot larger than me. 20,000 people for Van Luke. And, you know, you're looking 10,000 people. These are stadium type subscribers, you know? Think about that for a second. Try and put 10,000 people in a room in your mind. And it's just hard to occupy that space. Double it for Van Luke, you know? You're talking about millions when you're getting into these other creators as total. Like, these are crowds that are bigger than some of the biggest concerts that we've ever had. It's just insane. Like, you're talking festival level crowds.
It just doesn't feel like that's even good enough. It feels like a further slap to the face.
And I think that's...
Tell me if I'm wrong.
I think she's... Again, it's fair. You know, looking at the totality of what she's seen, what she's heard from Xylie's side, all she's heard is that what was sent in those DMs, what was said on Twitter, and then she hears that portion of Xylie's stream. Okay? Xylie, on the other hand, what she's hearing is she's had 2 chatters come in saying Van Luke wants to talk. One person I would say is a cross-stream person. I think they like Xylie. I think they like Van Luke, and they're watching both streams back and forth. No big deal. The third reply where she's kind of working off of what her mod said, I don't think Xylie should have said that. I mean, by that point, it makes the whole apology feel like shit, like disingenuity, and just like... I mean, we get into some more stuff here that I do want to cover. You know, there's a whole day after event, and then there's a couple more days after that. So let's change up one more time. This is our final change up. And we're at 1 hour and 28. We're moving along all right, I suppose. Let's see if I can beat my time from yesterday. So we got all this covered. We are going to go to November 5th. So this is all happening after Van Luke's stream now. This is all happening after Xylie's second stream. This is all second day shit. Okay? That's where Van Luke's saying she felt like she got gatekeep, blackballed, whatever. Let's see. That's when Xylie's coming in and saying Keemstar doesn't listen to her like that. You know, Van Luke's still coming back and saying, I just feel like you're focusing on the smaller side of this. And I think Van Luke's kind of fucking over this drama at this point. I think Xylie's over this drama at this point. So, we got all this back and forth as well. This is all next day stuff. This is where we're going to get into Abby's statement. So Abby comes in, and Abby's tried to remain kind of, I would say, I don't want to call her a fence setter, but she's remained a little unbiased on this, and said, I don't see why Van Luke shouldn't be allotted to have a public conversation. From what I understand, there was a peace treaty between the two, and Xylie violated the trust. So this, to me, says that Abby's seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Abby then goes on to further say that I've been wanting to have a conversation with Xylie about the time where we weren't cool. And then she throws in the tipster line of, at the end of the day, Xylie's going to do whatever she wants. I personally think for the friendship, whatever, the ship for dealing with this has sailed. Apologies. I personally think the ship for dealing with this in private has sailed as soon as Van Luke saw her trust was violated. So, yeah, I agree. I think that Van Luke is not going to accept anything but a public discussion at this point. I think, Xylie, it's in your best interest to do that public discussion, in my opinion. I think it's the best way that this thing is going to get hashed out. Abby goes on to say, I'm really over that everyone talks shit, because there's really good people like Van Luke who just say it how it is. And my dealings with Van Luke, she's pretty upfront. And my dealings with Xylie, as far as I know, she's been pretty upfront. This is Xylie replying back to those messages, saying that I was busy in my live stream last night. I wouldn't stop because I needed to get through it. We've already gone over Yep. Guess what, Xylie? You kind of lied right there. You said you wouldn't stop, but you did. You stopped for other people. It was proven. Yes, I fucked up. I did a shit thing. I am regretful for it. And yes, I am very sorry. If you ended it right there. But we go on. What else do you want? For me to drop to my hands and knees and grovel? Do you want me to whip myself on the back until I feel pain equivalent to what you felt? That was just a freaking stab. This is Van Luke replying that basically, is it too late to have a conversation? Van Luke says it's not for me. I actually want to have a conversation. I wanted to actually have Xylie on a Discord call when I told her I was going live to talk about everything, so we saw those messages. She went live, and when people from my chat asked in her comments to hop on a call from her live stream, her live stream mattered more. We saw that. Van Luke says she didn't see why she didn't simply pause, talk to me on Discord. I think there's the compromise of Xylie could have came in and said, hey, I can't talk right now. I want to get through this. But they could have probably worked it out to maybe just be on a stream later on. I don't think that we were beyond saving at that point. This is Xylie. I don't really want to cover this because there's more context here that I'm missing. Van Luke, I messaged you. Oh, no, I do have all the context here. Van Luke, I messaged you while I was live, first off. Second, yes, it mattered to me more at the time because I needed to get through it. 3, just because you would do something, it doesn't mean it's right for everyone. And 4, you weren't the only one that wanted me to pause and talk to them. I wasn't going for entertainment last night. It was about how fucking boring it was. Sorry. Again, we've seen. So this is Van Luke replying back. Just because I apparently am. This is all the 5th. Again, this is now getting later in the evening on the 5th. I offered closure. You're not taking it. Van Luke wants it in public. Why is that so hard to do? Xylie just saying, I'm done. Block me. If you're so done, you see yourself out. I guess I'll be the adult one waiting to have a civil conversation if you ever decide. Still don't think we're beyond saving at this point. I already had a conversation. I already said I would have a conversation like an adult. Still on the table. If you want a third party there. This goes on to another chain, I believe, where Van Luke kind of calls out her taking accountability. Xylie comes back and says, I already took accountability. Jesus Christ. I'm not about to make a spectacle about it, meaning that Xylie doesn't want to do this live because this bullshit on Twitter was enough. Van Luke says, I fucking knew it. Typical. She replies back with the laughing gif. You do realize this is not going to faze me, right? That petty shit ain't right. Just basically, Van Luke saying, I'm not trying to faze you. I'm just laughing because you're not wanting to do this and you're kicking and streaming like I'm asking for a kidney about getting on a live stream. So then we get into give me a time. This would have just been right before. Again, sorry, some of this stuff is out of order because we got tangential things going on here. So we got Van Luke saying it's not about friendship at all. It's about how you obviously can't be trusted to speak the truth to someone private. So publicly it is. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept for you to grasp. Xylie replies back, woman, look, I did a shit thing. If you don't trust me, then cut off communication. I completely understand. End here and now. I promise you I won't say shit about you negatively and move on myself. But I will be damned if anyone in this fucking app is going to have the range to tell me what I will and will not do. I don't work like that. So do what you got to do. You're a nice person. I was better to get to know you. You're a good one, Van Luke. Peace. This is going back to, again, sorry, I apologize. Out of order. Van Luke saying, nah, you're just being way over the top about me simply asking for a public conversation. That's all I've been asking for is a damn call. Again, Van Luke wants that call to be public. Xylie saying you're already into Mudslingers. We can talk there. I'm not joining another Discord. I would also like the conversation private like adults. I already stated that I fucked up. I've already apologized. I think this is where at this time we had Xylie or Abby saying to Xylie about, hey, I think we've gotten beyond the whole private conversation. Van Luke replies to this that I don't mind doing it on your Discord, but I would like it to be public since everything happened in public. So, you know, I just kind of wanted to point out here, like, kind of what we're looking at. November 4th, 800 views. This was just stuff for the screenshots. This was going back to what we just saw. Xylie then replies back that you just want it to be a show, huh? Laughing my fucking ass off. Van Luke's like, no, how can you honestly expect me to trust you in private? Can't you see the reasoning? Can't you see the reason behind wanting it a show? 2-hour stream over what I said, saying Keem didn't come on because of me, commanding me to stop my stream to talk to you. Ma'am, this shit can work both ways. That's where the whole apology really got lost, in my opinion. So we're talking about 24 hours later. This goes on to a couple days ago, Van Luke put out, so this is November 7th, so it's 2 days after all that drama happened. Van Luke posts, since people are now saying, but the truth was January 7th, Xylie, as we'd seen in the stream, was talking on January 4th. Yes, you're correct, but I was told about her talking me in private on January 6th, just days after my birthday stream. So she's saying that, hey, I was told she shit talked me on the 6th, and we made up publicly on the 7th, so she was shit talking me right before this. So it was then after that they had the truce. But I guess, keep trying to find an out for her, I guess. These are the messages that are to Xylie from Van Luke saying, like, hey, I just had somebody talking shit. Xylie responds. It's up to you whether you're going to believe them or not. Believe me, I get told you throw shade my way too. Either way, no skin off my back. And when was this? I think this is her saying that this was back in January, right around when they made the truce. Then you go on and you've got Van Luke saying, for those that didn't know, I went over to Xylie's stream several weeks ago. Well, we can probably look up this stream here from Nerdy John to see when several weeks ago would have been, but we're going to see that too. And had a convo about how I'd been receipts of her talking shit about me, and she admitted to it. Boom. We had an honest conversation about it and worked things out. That's all. That's the story. This, I think, is just showing that Xylie's laugh reacting to Echo saying that Xylie should have lied about it and pretended to be friends for months later, get burned for being friends with a scumbag, and then get exposed for being a fake friend. Look at how well it's worked for Edwin. So then we get into this. For people that can't math. Okay, so this just gets into really banging out the timeline on when things happen. We had actually worked things out, or so I thought, weeks before Xylie's public announcement of being cool with me on January 7th, which would have landed our private convo working things out with each other in the month of December 2022, which once again proves that her talking shit and influencing people in the community against me happened after they had worked things out. Van Luke's just going off on people there. Again, she chose several weeks ago, and that's January 7th, several weeks ago. And what really pisses me off is that she had no problem with me going on her live stream to publicly work out issues back on December 11th. So now we got an exact day of when they worked out issues. But God forbid she do that for me, referring to right now what's going on. Even though she was blatantly wrong, interesting. And, you know, Xylie, she said that in her tweet, and she said Xylie admitted to being wrong. Sorry in advance for speeding it up and scrolling through without editing. There are screenshots, or there is a clip associated with this. Again, just showing, you know, what's going on in around this time. And that Xylie, back in November, was also going over a lot of the drama. And, you know, I don't think she was friendly with Salvo at this time, but hey, look at that. She even has Salvo tagged in here. And just for a point of reference, she also has Keemstar and the Keemstar show tagged in here. So that's really everything I have. We've gone over all of it now at this point. Look, I said it last night. I'll say it again. I still don't think the situation is beyond saving. I think it's going to take Xylie being real. Sorry. Going on to Van Luke's stream publicly and working this out publicly because she feels she was wrong publicly. I don't think you're going to work this out in private. I think that ship has sailed, just like Abby said. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I'm not telling anybody what to do. It's just my feeling. I will say I went through this like I would have been a viewer, and that's hopefully the way I presented this, as if I was a viewer, what I would have seen between Van Luke's streams and Xylie's streams and what all happened here. You know, I covered the whole timeline. I tried to do that. We didn't touch on this last one. Maybe I'll bring that up real quick. Just to outline it a little bit better. Live stream cam, and we'll go here. All right. So now we're looking at my time. We're making math here. Xylie stream started at 2:30. We aligned him with the whole Lacey moment. Xylie tweets the beginning of her stream. Van Luke tweeted the beginning of her stream. We take the time in Van Luke's stream minus when they line up together, when Van Luke comes in and here's Lacey announcement. You know, we can pinpoint exactly when Van Luke would have started her stream, which would have been about 6 o'clock. We also have another moment to line up where Van Luke says, hey, I got DMs about 40 minutes ago. That would have been, we see the timestamp of 6:38 in the messages. 40 minutes ago would have been just right about the beginning of her, or sorry, I think I got my timeline a little off here. But she says, I got the DMs about 40 minutes ago. She had been streaming for an hour and a half at that point, hour and 20 minutes. She started at 6 o'clock, hour and 20 minutes would have been 7:20. So you figure 40 minutes ago, 6:40. And then the timestamp on the messages is 6:40. That's where I was going with that. Van Luke did not hear Xylie get really frustrated with her apologies that we see later on, where she's talking to her mod in her stream, and she says, really, what more do you want? That she apologized in 4 places. Van Luke never saw any of that. Really, yeah, that's about everything. So I think we've kind of wrapped it all up neat and tidy as best we can. So yeah, I think that it's salvageable to some extent. I think it's only going to be salvageable if it's in public. Really, that's about all I've got for today. I just wanted to go over this because there is so much content that I covered between the 2 streams. I really wanted to make sure that you guys heard that content. Now, hopefully, between this stream and my other stream, you can go back and forth and see my opinion across the board. Hopefully, it's held up. I don't know. I guess that's really about it. Insert Peepaw, Powder Drive, seeing the funny papers moment. Hopefully this works out for the best, and I really, really, really hope to see them resolve this. I think it's not a bridge burnt at this point, but it's kind of working its way there. So we'll see how this drama progresses, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Have a good night.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.